Mic check, mic check. Greetings, greetings, greetings. The dialectics of central and federal authority in sovereign law. Now, before me even touch on that, I think it makes sense to touch on the sovereign commentary, where we have central versus federal authority. Would also make an effort to share the distinction for honorable clarification. Now, the term central government does not necessarily mean federal, though both deal with national authority. They operate under different constitutional structure. The term central government denotes a unitary command where all administrative power flow from one seat of authority, and local bodies exist only by delegation. In contrast, a federal government recognizes co-sovereign jurisdiction, each possessing inherent constitutional standing. Jamaica's present structure is centralized, not federal. Its parishes and councils operate under statutes issued from Kingston without autonomous treaty power. People, replay the tape, look at the tape, read for yourself, and just, smile. Just smile. Yeah, man. Notice again, In contrast, federal government recognized co-sovereign jurisdiction, like in the US, each possessing inherent constitutional standing. Now, Jamaica's present structure is centralized, not federal. It's 14 parishes, and I don't know how much different councils operate under statutes issued from Kingston without autonomous treaty power. Thus, the NaRRA, this NaRRA Bill I shared yesterday, the information there. Thus, the NaRRA Bill's consolidation of executive control deepens this centralization, contradicting the natural law principles of distributed sovereignty. The sovereign people, bound by ancestral covenant, therefore reject any act that converts communal autonomy into administrative subordination. Now, here are some distinctions with central and federal authority. We have concept, definition, and example. Now, central government is a single unified authority that governs the entire state from one seat of power. Local bodies, it would have said that about this, so that's a graph. An example, central government, Jamaica, United Kingdom. Right? Now, federal government, a system where power is constitutionally divided between national federal government and regional state or provincial governments, each with autonomous powers. So this is what one on the US. This is the distinction. This is why you have to know what you do. You have to really know what you do. So when you create the separation of entity, it becomes obvious that you're separate and distinct from the citizenry and exist, reside, or even occupy no area within the corporate jurisdiction or their United States of America corporation. You gotta just know say that upon the land, America itself, and you're West Indian, that make you sovereign. That make you free. Yeah man, but you have to do the basic things where like how me have three document or structure, three declaration, sub one, sub two, sub three, and it coincide with the declaration pertaining to where our Indian nation as a society is. Yeah, man. So I'm in a rush nothing. I just take a time and structure. Most importantly, would I share information to bring clarity. Without the clarity, we're confused out there. Now, we're saying Jamaica's case, the central government refers to the Kingston-based cabinet and parliament. Again, in Jamaica, the central government refers to the Kingston-based cabinet and parliament. So the cabinet and the parliament is based in Kingston. This is where them have a 12-mile jurisdiction or a 12-mile area, where that is where them legally can operate. That's why them have them corporate area. But them extend themselves beyond all of those borders into all these parishes where them turn into constituencies, plethora of different constituencies in each parishes, and you see what go on in the society where the politician them become super wealthy and the populace with us they are try make it basically. Now, again, the Kingston-based cabinet and parliament, which hold authority over the whole island. Again, the central government refers to the Kingston-based cabinet and parliament, which hold authority over the whole island. Jamaica is a unitary state, not a federation, meaning local parish councils operate under laws enacted by the central authority, not independent constitutions. In other words, Jamaica is not a federation. Jamaica is a centralized government. We get its edict from United Kingdom. Yeah, because you know the 1948, the British Nationality Act is what them amend and upgrade and give us as Jamaica independence. And when we get the independence, that's when we're free, then the politician usurp that area and create constituency and place the people and on paper as citizens within the constituencies. However, the fundamental rights and freedom apparently not apply to the citizenry. If it did, the police would not act so inappropriately. So this is why I chose sovereignty. Where I remove myself from the domestic area. Yeah, placing yourself in an international area where international rules, regulation, legal standards, or laws apply. So I just clarity, people. Really, I just clarity. Now, in the sovereign framework, this distinction is vital. A central government exercises delegated administrative power. Delegated mean where you give to these people. You give your authority or whatever interest to these people by way of participating in an electoral voting system. That's where them give you an identification card, where them register you. And we always talk about registration, what registration entails. Now, while a federal system recognizes co-sovereign entities, State are nations with inherent jurisdiction. So again, the distinction is vital in a central government exercises delegated administrative power while a federal system recognizes co-sovereign entities, state or nations, with inherent jurisdiction. So this is why you have to, upgrade a thing to the international level. And that's so you will get them federal area there where federal dictate the terms and conditions. Everything federal up there. So now we'll touch back now on the dialectics of central and federal authority in sovereign law. Now most people probably open them eye and them ears wide and say, what? Yes, sovereign law. If we're never aware of it, now we are presented. If Babylon can have their statutory law and all other kind of equity law and all these things, then warm to the sovereign. And remember the sovereign function under the natural law, the common law where the constitution is maintained, and the treaty authority where the postal union authority dictate terms. So creativity, we give thanks to the ancestral spirit where I animate with. Yeah man, and a guide way. Yeah man. So we always say salute out there. Sorry. Yeah man. We do give thanks and praise for all of the energies out there. Now we say abstract. This thesis examined the constitutional distinction between central government and federal government, situating the debate within comparative political theory and sovereign jurisprudence. It argues that centralization represents administrative supremacy, while the federalism embodies distributed sovereignty. They might talk about the union over there on the mainland. The analysis highlights implications for treaty law, communal autonomy, and the preservation of ancestral covenant. Conceptual foundations. 1. Central government. A unitary authority vested in a single seat of power. Local institutions derive their existence from statutory delegation, not inherent jurisdiction. And we know Jamaica operate under statutes, what I'm call statutory law, but a statutes cannot be law because I already expressed what law is and what are the elements that constitute law. We now have to go over that. They then can go do their own research, Now, examples of central government are Jamaica, United Kingdom, France. Federal government, a constitutional arrangement where sovereignty is divided between a national authority and the regional entities, each possessing autonomous powers. This is what happened on the mainland. Example, United States, Canada, and India. Jurisdictional dynamics. Centralization of power. Authority flows down from the center. This is just like we go on in Jamaica. Local councils or parishes lack treaty-making capacity. You hear that? I and I as sovereign can make treaty here on this island. Efficiency is prioritized over autonomy. So this is what happened within the centralization of power. Now the federal distribution is this. Authority flows both upward and downward. Statutes or states, forgive me, states or provinces retain inherent constitutional standing. Diversity of governance is preserved within unity. Chapter 3, we have sovereignty, sovereign implications, central system, risk of administrative overreach, silencing of dissent, like what them do Madame Angela Brown Burke, and erosion of communal autonomy, meaning the community not have no freedom. Them not gonna talk really. Now the federal systems recognize or recognition of co-sovereign entities enabling treaty-based coexistence and lawful pluralism. That the federal system. Now sovereign law, natural law and treaty authority favor distributed sovereignty, resisting consolidation into a singular command, which would be tyranny. So that's why it's the Andrew are going like, nobody can give no talk. But if the people have not the clarity, then them now can really make no substantive, speech out there. Now, comparative case studies. Jamaica Central, unitary cabinet and parliament in Kingston. Parishes operate under delegated statutes. So them have to, Babylon just give them the laws or the rules and them have to just follow. United States, federal. States retain constitutions, legislators, and treaty-like powers under the federal compact. India, quasi-federal, quasi-federal. Strong central authority but constitutional recognition of state autonomy. Now, our conclusion is this. The distinction between central and federal authority is not semantic but structural. Centralization subordinates local autonomy to statutory command, while federalism enshrines co-sovereignty within constitutional law. For indigenous Indians and treaty-based nations, federal recognition offers a pathway to lawful coexistence, whereas centralization, as in Jamaica here, risk assimilation and erasure. Clarity. Now, what's the give thanks? For the true expression, give thanks for the perfect articulation, and most importantly, give thanks for this perfection. It's always great when we get an opportunity to express yourself and share basic information. And if you notice how I share my information, I just come out anytime and I'll try catch this, catch that. The information out there in the public, meaning it's published, and that are the real, goal for make sure say at least when people are trying to say what man I do around here, so we are talk about when we say sovereignty, them can have an area where them can look and gain a little bit of clarity, Separate and distinct from where anybody out there do. So we separate on this thing from everybody in the process where we are initiate. Yeah, man, where we are push forward. Yeah, man. So again, it's just a step by step thing where the brave may fall but never yield. And again, we say bold and brave. Always we say firm and strong. Now, we always hear people complain about privacy, and I can say this, it's an illusion. So I think I'm going to share a basic little information, yeah, about the illusion of privacy. Yeah, man, and just, take it step by step. So again, complete gratitude. Yeah, man, complete gratitude out there. Salute.